Right, evening everyone. Welcome to Friday night with Art Killy 9505, and we're for PF PRF1, and it's Silverstone this week. And we got a short qualifying session followed by a 9 lap sprint, followed by a 26 lap 50% race. So should be a good one. Full grid as well. Interesting. Good for me. I'm racing Silverstone tomorrow night, so it should help with tactics. Be able to see what works well tonight, and hopefully take that into my race tomorrow. Funny enough, mine's a sprint as well, so should be good. And hey, Axel. Sorry, but I saw your message in the Discord too late saying that you were ready for the interview, so it was just too late to do it. Especially with it being a short quali instead of full. So, what time is it? 28. Back. So a couple minutes. Good time's half past. Should be a good one tonight. Silverstone, usually a good race. It's always the question with Silverstone, the risk that doing especially recently, the it's definitely become very popular to do hards first, medium second in the 50% races. Now, that's great and everything, but around Silverstone, the problem becomes if a safety car does come out, and it's too early to go to the mediums, you're really in trouble because a pit stop around here is very, very long. Easily the longest of the season. So, you've got to be careful about that. I mean, hopefully, of course, we all hope that we don't get a safety car, but it don't quite work like that. You never know. Turn one could be a bit of a nightmare around here. In fact, the whole of the first sector could be a bit of a nightmare around here on lap one. There's always the chance that you won't get a lap one safety car, but you can't guarantee it. Evening, Dark Mark, and hey, well, you say the nicest things. Here we go. Now, short qualifying for Silverstone. Short qualifying and sprint actually takes about the same amount of time as a full qualifying session, so it's not a big difference. If anything, I'd say it's a little bit shorter than a full quali. So, don't make a huge difference. Does mean there's a few extra points on offer though. Obviously, P168 points down to 7 points for P2, 6 for P3, down to 8th place being 1 point in the sprint, and we do use that in PRF1. So those little bits of points could be pretty important. Spread around Cam Rob both here tonight, so especially in terms of the championship. Spreader did manage to close the gap slightly last week, so it was a bit closer. You'd love to do the same around here as well. I know in time trial they are both very similar on their time trial times. I've got to say this because they're both below me, so yeah, they're both about a tenth off of me. You've got to say it, haven't you? I got to do it. Oof, wet sprint. Oh, nice. But dry main race, I take it. As you just said, wet sprint. That's actually kind of cool. I get a bit of both for the evening. Who's moving? Somebody's moving. There's a Haas, there's Cammy. He's always out first. Why do I even bother asking? He comes. Okay, thanks, Dark Mark. So, qualifying race is dry, but the sprint is wet. That's interesting. Especially if it's full wets, that would be interesting. Because people are going to be struggling a bit if they're obviously going to have to set up dry setups if the actual race is going to be dry. So there are little things you could change on your setups to aid your sprint race, but there's not much. So that could certainly make the sprint interesting. It could give us a topsy-turvy grid as well for the main race. So said in recent weeks, the qualifying through the different quali sessions has been extremely close in PRF1, but obviously just a short quali tonight. Let's see how close it is. Definitely expecting a close one, and I would assume that pole position will be in the low to mid 27s. I could tell you that Spreader and Kamarov, their time trial times are both sort of 27.3, 27.4, that sort of area. But they were both set quite a long time ago, so it wouldn't surprise me if they are faster now here, but just haven't done it on time trial. We've also got Blonde out there who, well, if you were here last week, was exceptionally quick, so especially if Blonde is just as fast here as he was last week, then Portimao, then I wouldn't put it beyond the realms of possibility that we could see it high 26, but seems unlikely. We pushing the boundaries there at Cops, but that's okay. It's nice to try and get a decent first lap in if you can. The most important thing is get one on the board, so you've got a target to aim for, but it's nice if you could put a decent one on the board first of all. It just helps. It's good when you got a good target time to aim for. JC3453 has joined. Well, sorry bud, before. So coming across the line to a 27.7, that's a very nice opening lap from Kamarov. I thought it looked pretty good. There is Spreader on his first attempt. Looking a bit jumpy on my screen tonight at the moment. Hope that's not coming through too badly on the stream itself for you guys, but spread across the line then, 28.3, 28.3 for Axel as well. Dystopian on a 28.4, 28.6 for Davis. Robert Gillen managed to get in the end, fair play. Glad to see you on track, Robert. 28.8 for him on his first run, 29.6 for Fatal on their first run. Aaron's going slow. I think I was on the right driver actually. Is it Robbo? 104.4 through sector 2, which would suggest he's on target for 28s. No, 28.5. Soon to P5, just ahead of his teammate Davis on a 28.6. Dark Lord quite early in his lap. Where's Blonde? It's very early. Let's go with Blonde. Oh! Out of turn 3, so that's going to ruin his lap. Down Dark Lord then. He's just coming up to Mag. Yeah, terrible lag now. What's going on? So that's fine. Oop. Whatever device is connected, just double check. Off. Right, okay. Sorry about that. Just having a double check on whenever devices are switched off because I'm getting really bad lag on my screen. 29.2 for Dark Lord, then goes P9 for the moment. Ron's about to start another lap, so. No, I think he is. He has actually carried on with the lap, I think. 28.1. So he's carried on and put one on the board. You only get enough time to do 3 runs here, so I don't want to have to do an extra lap on the first set. Let's put one on the board to give him an idea, I suppose, of how much he's improving on the next one. And Spriggs through the stadium part. And across the line, 27.8 from Spriggs. Nice start to his evening as well. He has just crossed the start of lap. Yeah, I thought so, Dark Mark. I don't know why, mate. I've turned all the other devices off, and including my phone, and I can't blame the weather this week either. So the weather looks fine out there. So I don't know. It's one of those nights, I guess. I'm really glad to say though. Actually, I checked the other day, and finally the fibre that you installed in my area looks like it has actually gone live. So I'm just gonna, I will be checking to see what I'd like to do. And I'll be checking to see when my contract ends with the current one, and then switching to fibre. Recent rates, like I don't, you know, I can't be sure when that'll be until I check the contracts. To be honest, I'd be well up for just buying my way out of that contract and going straight over to fibre, but I have to look into it all first. Right, Big D coming into the stadium to finish the lap. .28.2, decent start. Goes P4 in the Ferrari. Ferrari teammate out there as well. Just from set to 1. I think he's had a moment of something in the. You know, I'll pray to. He's definitely had a moment of something in set to 1 because his time's well off at the moment, where he should be. So, and on to new lap. It's a corner that gets me a lot of the time. You struggle there. Getting on the power coming out of there could be a bit of a problem. Easy if you run a lower front wing, but it's what I normally do. But I'm finding around Silverstone that you're better off running a higher front wing than rear. But DRS slightly down through sets of 2, but very, very minimal. Just about stops the invalidation. And here it comes then. Actually, it is difficult getting on the power through here as well. And does improve by 17 thousandths there, Fates Defiance. Didn't gain any places, but did improve. Kamarov ever so slightly up for set to 2. Coming up towards the end of his lap now. And out the final corner, 27.5. Very nice from Cammy. That lays down a proper marker now, in my opinion. He's turning 7.9, so he's improved nicely. Spreader is invalidated early on his attempts. Blonde just started a lap. PRS goes down to the end of sector 1. I think this is where he's got loads of time. Yeah, look, 3/4 of a second up immediately. I had a feeling he had a lot of time in sector 1 because I'm sure we saw him make a little mistake in his first run. So that already, if he equals his last run in sectors 2 and 3, that will put him on 27.4. Presumably, knowing that he'd made a mistake in sector 1, he probably didn't go absolutely flat out through sectors 2 and 3. Comes over sector 2, that's 9 tenths up now. Which will put him on a 28.7, 2 even. Maybe a quickie. Here it comes, 27.1, absolutely sensational lap already from Blonde, and I suspect he'll be able to for one more go. Spriggs, oh, he was improving, look, 1/4 of a second up on his time as well, but has invalidated, unfortunately. We've had out on track tonight, and, ever so slightly down in sector 1. Not the best of entrances into that corner. Through cops, pretty nice through cops to be fair. Pretty nice through Magnuson Beckett's as well. A little bit tentative, that's the only thing I can say about that. He's just a bit tentative. He does find himself a tenth down on his PB. See if he can gain anything through the final sector. I think I do get it. It's so easy to lose the car in Magnuson Beckett's that you can end up being a bit tentative in a quali session, but it's one of those corners as well, or you know, sections of track that you've got to commit and attack in order to do good times. So no improvement on this occasion from David Haddo. It looks to me like he's got plenty more time there. Robert Gillen as well, just slightly down in sector 2. At the final corner and 4 tenths down on his PB. Right, this man. He's going to be way down here. Yeah, 3 seconds off. Dark mark out there. Operator's retired. I've just noticed that. Apologies. Lost operator. 28.3 for Dark Mark. That puts him into P9. Okay, not improving. It's on an outlap then. Dart Lord's on an outlap. Let's do the hilly hot lap with Dart Lord. Anybody else further round? I don't think we have, because Dre's into the pits. So, no, let's stick with Dart Lord then and we'll get the hilly hot lap in, so there's only 2 minutes 40 left. So, those of you who like to change the differential for a lap, you'd be coming through here with 60% would be ideal, ready to start the lap and keep 60% through sector 1 basically. And flat out through the right hander, just make sure you don't invalidate. Keep it as left as possible as you can through turn 2, late braking into turn 3, down to either third or fourth ideally. and down to second or third for this left-hander. Get on the power as best you can, that's what it's all about, to go onto the straight. It's flat out through there, DRS open, under the bridge, switch down to 55% differential now, and hang into the late braking, late apex left-hander, and again a late apex right-hander. Always difficult, very, very tricky on exit here with the low grip, and then hang it over to the right there to hit the path of least resistance, gains you a few hundredths, it's worth doing it, and then through cops, it's a quick shift down to 7th, carry as much speed through cops as you can. You should be down on 50% differential clubbing through cops, and then through the whole of this sector, out onto the straight after Maggots and Beckett's, and up your differential now to 55% for the right-hander, down to 6th for the right-hander. You want to be, open it up, get on the power as best you can, just about doesn't invalidate, you should get your differential back up to 60% to finish the lap. Be confident through here, that will gain you some time if you can show some confidence. And Dartlow did gain some time, so improves by about 4 attempts up to P14. I don't know who's that driver that we saw. Here they are, it's Axel. Having all sorts of problems by the looks of it. It's that way for someone. I think there's a Ferrari on its way. Is everybody slowing down? So you're about to start lapping, don't want to be too close to the car in front. So we go to Cammy then. About to start his final run. Can he get anywhere near Blonde this week? Hey up, Shaz. I hope you're well. Sorry about the strings tonight, I know it's a bit laggy. No idea why. I can't even blame the weather this week, it's not fair. Just go to the end of sector 1. He's found half a attempt from somewhere there. Always nice when you find a bit of time in the first sector, it just gives you a bit of confidence. Attack, he seems to get a decent exit there. Well, Joey keeps over to the right, so it does actually cross the line on the right hand side with his right wheel. Look at the revs, never below the red bar on the reds. That's where you need to be. Nicely done through Maggots and Beckett's. Now, hands down to the right-hander. I actually didn't see the time on the second sector. Nice corner, that right-hander. If you get it right, it should be accelerating pretty much through the corner. Never fully off the power sort of thing. And 27-1 from Kami. He goes extremely close to Blonde. Fair play, Sergeant Kamarov. That was a really, really good attempt. Blonde had backed out his lap as well, so he'd have got him. That would have been it. He would have got him. So Axel, we kind of know, wasn't improving. Down to Goomba then. He's about to come across the line. And he take pole. He can't, but he does improve his time by 4 attempts and moves into P17. And that is the end of qualifying then. So it's pole position for Blonde by a very close margin this week. Very well done to Cammy, who's really pushed him for pole position there. Spriggs, P3, superb lap from him as well, 27.4. Spreader in P4, it's also in the 27s, 27.7. Dystopian's 27.9. 27.9 for Davis. Can you believe that P6 is a 27? That's brilliant. Look how close Davis and Robbo are, the two teammates. They're absolutely brilliant, those two. The team perfectly matched. One Atkins P8, Big D P9. Axel in the end in 10th, didn't manage to get that final run in. And Big D, I'm sorry, last lap with my ERS off. Oh no, it's no good. So Axel's P10, Dark Mark's P11, Dre in 12, David Harrow 13, Dark Lord 14, Robert Gillen 15, Fates of Defiance in 16, Goomba 17, Scott 18, Theo 19 and Operator 20. Theo and Operator not getting the time on the board in qualifying, but not to forget it is effectively the qualifying for the qualifying. So we have a sprint race, 9 laps sprint race, which is will decide the grid for the main feature race. Hey Ollie. Yeah, there were some mega lap times there, Shaz. Obviously the top 2 especially, well, and Spriggs actually the top 3. It's yeah, it's exceptional stuff. Hey Ollie, yeah, always sad to not have you on track, buddy. Oh, your best track as well, oh dear. You never want to be missing your best track. I know it's tomorrow night. I'm a bit indifferent with it. I don't love Silverstone, but I don't dislike it. It's sort of one in the middle of the road tracks for me, personally. As you can see, as promised by Dark Mark, it is absolutely hammering down for the sprint race. That is definitely great British weather, and definitely full wet weather as well, isn't it? I don't think there's any doubt about that. It definitely is, Chaz. The actual main race we are expecting dry, so Dark Mark told us that qualifying and the main race will be dry, but the sprint is wet. So, as I said earlier on, makes it interesting. Because you got to assume, yeah, you know, Dan, you got to assume that everybody will have to set up for the actual main race. So that you've got to presume that everybody is set up dry for the main feature race, and so we could have a few spinners here in these conditions. There's little adjustments you can make, like your differential, for example, your tyre pressures. So there's little things adjusting your front wing as well. There's all sorts of little things like that can really help, but it's not the same as having a proper full wet setup, and not even close to it, in fact. So, if I remember rightly from the last one, I think we have just a few minutes. Let people to do their strategies and little adjustments and all that sort of thing, and then we go, and then so it's after the sprint we take a proper break, 5-minute break. So yeah, we're getting ready to go in just about a minute's time, 56. And yeah, David's confirming then a 5-minute break before the main race. So in the sprint, I hope we don't see any heroes trying to use softs, because, well, if you think you could do 9 laps of a 50% race of softs around Silverstone, I think you're probably pretty nutty. I think everybody will be on mediums, to be honest. Well, no, they're not going to be on full wets. What am I talking about here? It starts tipping down. Yeah, of course, everybody's going to be on mediums for this, because they'll get through. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely insane. Obviously, they're all going to be on full wets, and then then a dry main race is going to be interesting. I'm at personally, if I'm one of the guys at the front, I'd be trying to go the opposite to what the other guy's doing, but. It's always interesting on a main race around here. Fastest lap in the rain. Oh, full wet conditions. So I think you've been a bit optimistic there, Chaz. I think I would go probably closer to the 140s. I'd probably go about 130. I'm going to say 139 point something. 39 point something. And that may even be optimistic. So just to actually confirm this, just check the tyres, and yeah, there you go. That's fault in a way. Go. This is formation lap, by the way. So, everybody on the full wets. It could be Shaz, you know. I'm thinking intermediates are usually sort of 8-9 seconds, some depending on the track, or the, you know, length of the track. Sort of 8, 9, 10 seconds off of the slip times. So full wets, I'm guessing, is a bit longer than that. And I've just been doing 27s in quali, so actually race. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the fastest lap's around the 140 mark, to be honest. Maybe 141. Maybe 139, I'm not too sure, but in that region in a way. So, well, set to 1 here is a nightmare on the start. In dry conditions, let's see how they get on. It wouldn't surprise me, actually, if it goes absolutely fine in the wet, because I think everybody does tend to be a little bit more careful in these conditions, so oddly enough, it could actually help the sprint start. We all know what Spreader's like with his starts in the dry, what sort of start you can get up to in full wets. Interesting. So launch just as well. Oh, don't forget, I think Davis is lobby host again, so he's only starting P6. So, I think, yeah, if we go on board then, actually, for the start with Davis, then we can see Spreader right in front of us as well. We can see both of them. Hey, Chuds! It's for Big D. Big D number 1. Absolute. Well, he's number 9 at the moment, but yeah. Yeah, he's definitely number 1. He's legend himself. So, yeah, let's go on board with Davis for the start then. See what the lobby host advantage does in the rain. Spin straight round into the wall, ready? No, he won't. No, he won't. If that happens now, I'm so in trouble. The lights coming on. And out they go for Davis, out they go for everybody else, and look at that. Off he goes, immediately up into P5. He's alongside Spreader, but I don't think he's going to get an opportunity around the outside there. How is everybody going? Seems to be okay at first glance. Big D and Dre have dropped right down to the back, so something has happened. So, just to clarify, yeah, Dre right down at the back, Big D, the next car ahead of him. So something clearly happened. Well, Dre has damage. He's lost his left end plate on his front wing, so that will require a pit stop, I'm sure. I would be massively shocked if he just calls it a day. Remember, a pit stop around here is absolutely huge. So, fortunately not Shaz. I've got the last race of the season. Jinxed him. So don't worry, Shaz, it's only the sprint race. Sprints are for show. I still can't get this right. It's because it don't work with F1. That's it's a saying, isn't it? Somewhat for show. Points are for. Oh, it's a. Oh, I know what it is. It's darts. It's trebles for show, doubles for dough. That don't work for F1. Sprints are for show, points are for dough, or something like that. That kind of works. Oh, Theo's joined. Apparently Theo went with us. He's back in. His AI's doing alright. It's up 8 places. This blonde sets the fastest lap of 46.6. Obviously the first lap, so it's not representative yet. Let's see Axel very close to dystopian. See if we get an idea of what it looks like for these guys. Depends on what camera view you use. I guess this is kind of like is it the chase cam? I can't remember. No, it's not the chase cam, is it? It's the next one up from cockpit, isn't it, this one? So, I use a cockpit, and I can promise you in these conditions you can't see a thing. It's more luck than judgment, I promise you. Yeah, no, Shaz, if I was free, I would be. But, I think it's the week after I probably am free for a week. But, oh, what was that going on there? There's a bit of ghosting going on there. I think Robert Gillen's actually just through the head of Atkins. Is this Big D on his recovery, and David Haddo. There's three of them. Here they come. Battle going on ahead as well. In the end, it looks like Big D's come out on top with P14, David Haddo 15, Goomba 16 is under some pressure from Operator down the straight, down Hanger Straight. Goes to the inside, Operator, and oh, he don't quite break enough for the corner, or early enough, and that will lose him. Down then. Looks like Theo's been off as well. Seems to still be ghosted there. And that's it's going into the pits. Doesn't look like he's ghosted there, but it did on there. I don't know. Didn't there though. Yeah, I think he's probably retiring out there. Anyway, let's get back to some battles. So, oh, there's a safety car. That'd be why he's in the pits. But what's the safety car for? No retirements. We know Theo was off, but yeah, he must have. He's lost a wing then. So, well, the game's brought out the safety car presumably for debris on track, but I have no idea what he hit. Or it's a wall or somebody else. I don't. Well, I presume it's the wall. Nobody else is in. Dre won't mind this. Thank goodness he didn't retire. He'd be saying, because he's back in with a chance of getting himself up the grid a bit. So anyway, up the front. So we haven't really looked at the front, or I haven't. No apologies. But Blonde has gotten away absolutely fine, and he's leading the way. Spriggs is into P2, so he's up one. Cameron down one. Spreader where he started in P4. It's a drive through for speeding under safety car for Theo, who is the driver that just pitted, so that's a bit of a nightmare. And that basically is the end of your sprint race. So yeah, so our biggest gainer anyway so far in the sprint is Scott, up 9 places from 18th to 9th. So that's some gain in the sprint race, and only 1 place off getting into the points if he can. As we've got a pitter. Dark Lord is in. Actually looks at the conditions, but I don't think. I can only assume this is for some sort of damage. I can't imagine he's attempting inters. No, it's not. Blue tyres are going on. Front wing change. That is going to obviously have dropped him down. He's down to P17. Just looking at Dark Mark, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he will get out the pits ahead of Dark Mark. Yeah, he's definitely going to actually. So, Dark Lord P17, Dark Mark P18. Forces of Darkness are not faring too well in the sprint. Get ready to resume then. It's not going to be this lap, I don't think. Dre's got... Well, not just Dre, Theo as well. Both got quite a way to make up yet, so I don't think we're going to get going. Lap 5, I think it's going to be lap 6, which will give us 4 laps of racing. But did suggest that the sprint in full wets may be a bit difficult. As we say, they're bound to be setting up full dry setups for the main race, so it was always perhaps going to be a bit slippery, wasn't it? I think Silverstone probably does see some of the biggest contrasts in wings of what people run around here. I know some people run extremely low, down at like sort of 10. Sorry, not 10. Down at sort of 1710 or 1712, that sort of area. But I know others like to run in the mid-20s, so it really is quite a contrast around here normally. But I would have thought the guys that are running sort of 1710 or 1712, that sort of area, might be finding this quite difficult. Should be resuming again at the end of this lap. So that will give us 4 laps remaining of the sprint. We are just waiting for 2 more to catch up, Theo and Dre. Presumably Theo's just going to dip off straight into the pits and take the drive through. If we start lap 6, they will have to serve the drive through, so I'm not going to be able to get that. That literally just rubbed salt in the wound. It picked up a 3 seconds under the safety car as well. So, finally, got the drive through, got 3 seconds. I really wouldn't be shocked to see a retirement from Theo. But I wouldn't blame him either, because I kind of say to myself, well, do you know what? I'll start at the back, and I quite like starting at the back, so I'd probably just take it now. I'd probably just say, no, do you know what? It's destiny. I'm going to start from the back this race. Good things will come to me. I have to say that the lag down Spriggs car, I think, is him, not me. I know I've been having some problem with lag this evening, but seems alright on the other cars. I'm slowing it up quite a lot, and the safety car's reached the pit lane. You could go any time now, so yeah, I thought so. He's going to go early. Massively shot by that at all, and David Haddo gets a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flag. I'm going to go down there second. Now, operator gets 5 lane and retires from the session. I wonder if that was anything to do with Haddo. Front wing. So, I didn't think that's all quick enough while on board with him to really see what had happened, but already making its way back past Gumba and into covered up to where he started. So, and all fatal. It's in the wall there on the right hand side. It's going to bring out another safety car, and indeed it does. So, yeah, it's only a bit of a nightmare sprint. This is going to be in the same lap as they pick it up. So, well, if anybody wants to pit, they need to make sure they get. Wasn't looking a million miles away from into. Can't see a lot of standing water puddles, so. So, said, they just need to be a bit careful. I'm 99% sure that this safety car will just come straight back in this lap. I'm sure it's got to leave 2 laps remaining to come in, so. Stopian's pitted. Well, but this Dopian had to pit because he'd lost the M plate, hadn't he? So, but he's got, well. There's more chance of me playing for Manchester United and Dystopian cashing the back of this safety car before it comes in, quite frankly. So, safety car is in this lap. It has moved away from the pack. What will Blonde do this time? Is he going to look to do the same? It was pretty successful last time. Briggs looks like he's trying to be ready. Blonde to go here. Blonde will see that he's ready for it, and surely, well, there he goes. So it was similar, but he was just ever so slightly later, and I think that was because Spriggs seemed absolutely poised. Just delayed it slightly. All sorts going on. Why is that fatal? Lap 1. Spreader gets very close to Kamarov. Can he get a run on him? No, it's always difficult to overtake in any conditions in Formula 1, but it's extremely difficult in the rain. You're relying on the slipstream. Remember back in the day, they didn't have things like DRS or ERS, so that was the art of racing, was picking up the slipstream with a car ahead in order to get by them. Pick up the slipstream and then sort of swing out from the back behind them and then outbrake them into the corner. That was kind of that was a skill. Oh, Big D's back down to P17. No idea what's happened to us. Sorry, let's get back. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? I'm so sorry, guys. Switch just as the overtake happens. I'm so sorry. It's important for the championship. Spreader very much after Kamarov in the championship, and may only be 1 point difference in the sprint, but a point's a point. That could be the thing that makes a difference at the end of the season. Theo speeds into the pit lane again. Big D into the pits as well. Alright, well, yeah, I think Theo disconnected. I saw him join back, and he joined back about 3/4 of the way around lap 1. So I can only assume he's disconnected in the loading screen. So looks like Spreader is doing pretty nicely in these conditions, and has got up. Oh, who's that dropping down? Somebody is. Robbo, it is. There's Rand. Oh, yeah, no, the guys behind him, nowhere near him. Oh, that's a shame for AlphaTauri. They were going very nicely indeed. Both Davis and Robbo up in the top 10, but no longer. Dark Lord making a move on Gumba as they go through cops there. Brave in these conditions. Brave in any conditions. But it looks like he's got it. Made it stick and into P10. And it looks like Dark Mark's following him through against Gumba. That's two brothers, isn't it? That's the brothers. As, oh, my apologies. We should have been up front there for the end of the sprint race. Blonde takes the checkered flag in the sprint race here at Silverstone. Spriggs P2. Spreader in P3 picks up a point over Kamarov. Davis P5. Robert Gillen in 6th. Axel picks up 2 points in 7th. And Atkins in P8. David Haddo then will start from 9th. Dark Lord in 10th. Dark Lord Mark 11th. Gumbo will start the race in P12 with Dre in 13th, Dystopian 14th in the end, Scott 15th, Robbo 16th, Theo obviously been having connection issues through the race, hopefully sort out for the main race. We'll start from P17, Big D will start from P18, Fatal Defiance from 19th and Operator from 20th. They'll be looking to take advantage of being at the back and having the opportunity to do their best to miss potential problems at the start. So there is our information of that. David Haddo had a 5-second penalty in there, but still managed to finish P9, so did well. Can we go race director? Nope, it's going to just move us on, so I can't get the instant report, unfortunately, guys. Sure that won't be an issue. Okay, so as said, guys, there will be a 5-minute break before the main feature race gets underway, which we are expecting to be fully dry. Spriggs said, oh, GG, another second. It's only the sprint race. Theo. Theo's put in the chat he's having wheel settings problems with his wheel settings. They've decided to change themselves apparently. I do sometimes. Thank God I'm still a controller player because it does appear sometimes that people with wheels and that do seem to have a lot of issues. I feel. Go at 25 past. Confirmed from Davis. So therefore, guys, I'm gonna take Fatal. Gonna get points tonight. Gonna get taken out. No. You start down the base. You can avoid the start of anything at the start, and then just let it play into your hands. I'm interested to see what strategies people go with tonight. People that start on hards, if early safety car happens, they're in trouble because it's a long pit stop around here. Easily longest of the season by a long way. So, interesting. In a way, as I said, guys, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to go grab myself a coffee so that I can try to stay awake for the main race. And I'll be back with you very shortly indeed. Okay guys, back with you, and got about a minute I think, so the shout out goes out. Anything else been said in Discord? Robbo says, watch out for the number 2 Mercedes driver tonight, lads, dodgy lad. I use a number 2 Mercedes driver tonight then. Gillen's typing. What's he putting? No, just who is it, mate? I think it might be Scott. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, some serious intent. I don't know what that means, Atkins. There we go. Oh, Shaz, you leveled up in Discord. Congratulations. Oh, apparently that was on the 18th of April, so I'm a little bit late in my congratulations, but still. Right, so off on the formation lap then we go. So then, let's have a look. Looks like Blonde starting on the hards. Could that be a mistake? We shall see. First of all, who's the second Mercedes driver? We've got Spriggs, and yeah, it's Scott. Poor old Scott. He gets so much abuse. I tell you, it's all in fun and games, of course it is, but they don't rib him. Rib him. Right then. Let's go to the tyres. Yeah, look at all the medium starters there. I am not shocked at all to see that at Silverstone. Early safety car and the hard starters are in big trouble. So, but if the safety car doesn't come, and there's every chance that we won't have a safety car tonight in PRF1, the what is it? 4 guys who started on the hard tyre. So Blonde, Robbo, Big D, and Fatal could potentially pay off massively for them if there's no safety cars in this race. Or, of course, if a safety car was to occur after the medium tyre guys have pitted. So you're looking at pit stops, I would say, starting at lap 10 and to go from medium to hard, going right the way through to sort of lap 13, I would imagine, before the last one pits. Some like to hang it out those extra laps. You do lose time by doing that, but it's that extra just in case. It gives the extra few laps for a safety car to occur. And of course, doesn't mean you've got slightly younger tyres thereafter. So let's clear the screen for the start. Blonde in the McLaren on the right hand side of your screen. Spriggs in a Mercedes on the left. So the lights are all on. And out they go. And Spriggs looks like he's gotten off to a good start. Blonde has just bogged down slightly on those hard tyres as we come round turn 1. Blonde did very well not to get contact. There was a crash further down. To get the names up for you. We've lost Operator and Dre at the start. Goodness me. And that is a full course yellow. And it is a safety car. It's a full safety car. Who's brave enough? Sure what's going on here. Don't overtake under safety car conditions at all. Please. I don't know quite know what's going on there. Maybe Dark Mark feels Scott got ahead of him unfairly and he's trying to say to Scott, come on, give the place back. But ultimately, the game's not telling us to give it back, and we've got to go with that. So the easiest way, really, is just to not allow overtaking under a safety car at all. Well, is any of the medium starters going to be brave enough to try and pit? I don't think I'd be pitting this lap. I think I'd hang it out. You're going to drop to the back by pitting, so I think it's worth a shout. Big D's in, but he started on the hards. I saw a Ferrari round. I assumed it was operator, but perhaps Big D's were caught up as well. Theo's in as well, potentially going to go to hards then. These guys at the back, it's got to be worth a shout, surely. Oh, Theo's gone to the softs. Man, that's a shame. It wouldn't be easy to get a set of hards to the end from here, but I think it's doable. Well, I've done it, but it was on the old. It was on F1-21, not 22. So I've no idea if you can this year, but I surely it's got to be worth a risk, hasn't it, to someone? I mean, I must admit, I'd have stayed out the extra lap and pitted this lap just to do one less lap. Not that it makes much difference to hards, of course, doing a lap on the safety car, but every little helps if you're going to try and eke them out to the end. It's a risk, but I wouldn't expect the guys that are up high to do it. If somebody's going to give it a go, then it would be, you know, someone like Dystopian maybe. He's clearly got good pace, we know that from qualifying, and he's in 15th at the moment, so is it not worth a risk? Big D as well, potentially. Could pit back to the hards that he started on. He's already caught the back of the safety car pretty much, so could. Definitely, Shaz. Absolutely, definitely. I totally reckon you can. I did it in 21. I think maybe tyre wear's a bit harder in 22, but I reckon you can. I absolutely reckon you can. You know what's going to happen now, don't you? Because I said I'm racing here tomorrow night myself, so this exact scenario is going to happen tomorrow night. I'm going to feel like I've got to try it now. But what I'm sort of saying though, Shaz, is I wouldn't expect the guys at the top somewhere to do it, but you know, as I said, somebody like Dystopian in 15th or Big D potentially, they've got pace, could potentially attempt it, just try it, and it could pay off massively. Bear in mind, a pit stop around here is nearly 30 seconds, so it has the potential to pay off absolutely huge. The thing is, Shaz, unless something goes horribly wrong, I should be one of these guys that are at the front somewhere tomorrow night, so I wouldn't particularly be inclined to try it if I was one of the guys at the front somewhere, because I wouldn't want to give that much track position up. It's not just to prove a point. My setup. My setup's not set up particularly to be great on tyres. It's not. I just reckon you can do it. That's all. Well, safety car in this lap then. Let's have a look at the starters. Look at Davis up in P2. Look, that's that's with the advantage, the what you call it advantage, the host advantage. He's up in P2. Spreader's in P3 where he started. Not very often that Spreader doesn't make up places off the start, but because of Davis getting up there, he hasn't. Blonde down 4, of course, starting on the hards. More difficult for him to get off, but away we go anyway. Spriggs goes. Seems to catch Davis half asleep. Davis will find himself in a bit of trouble, potentially. It's yellow flag that came up was Theo. Oh, Kamarov just appears on the inside from nowhere. Spreader around the inside. Cammy probably gonna have better traction on the outside though. Kamarov from pretty much nowhere takes the place back off of Spreader. And a look at the inside there, but he's just get a decent exit on the lead up to Cops. Gonna go side by side through Cops. Could we have a Hamilton Verstappen moment? No. These two are too good. They're better than Hamilton and Verstappen. Going through Maggots and Beckett's. It looks like Spreader's fought him off, but haven't got to hang it straight. Cameron clearly wants to get him back. Corner comfortably, Cammy leaves plenty of room. Let's go around the outside here. It's a sort of cut back coming through the chicane, and Cammy back in front. Nice battling from these two. I'm sure there's lovely stuff going on elsewhere, but when you've got a lovely battle like this going on and they're switching about, it's hard to come off. At the moment, Shaz, obviously I'm trying to set up for tomorrow night and work it all out. I've definitely changed. I used to run 24-28, I think it was. So I used to run high. I'm currently working on I think 15-12 I'm trying at the moment. It seems pretty good. But I'm also working on 17-10. You know, I'm trying to find what I'm comfortable with, and I think I'm feeling like I'm going to settle on 15-12, I think. But I've still got some practice left yet, so that might change. So, Spreader then looks good after Davis. Spriggs has pulled out 2.5 seconds at the front. That's one of the bonuses for Spriggs and Davis, with these two having battled since the restart. Will be, by battling each other, they're slowing each other down, so yeah, see, Chaz, I prefer higher rear than front, but I think with Silverstone, I think you've got to go higher front. Because you need the straight line speed here, but you need good corner ability as well. So I think around here, I think an oversteery setup is probably the best way to go. But obviously, the more oversteery you go, the more chances of spinning you got. So Gunbud Air up into P9. Nice start from him in this race, up 3 places so far. Scott runs a bit wide there, almost invites David Haddo into having a little look. As you can see, Robert Gillen not letting Gumba get away. As they head up towards Cops. saw Robert Gillen just ran a bit wide there. So Scott not interested in trying to make a move going into Mountain Beckett's, and I can't blame him. He's got himself in trouble again, Robert Gillen. It could well have been the dirty air off of Goomba's car doing that for him. It does affect your car. As Scott then down the outside into Stowe. But Robert Gillen comes back at him. Again, a nice... Oh, there's contact, and that spun Robert round. And that's on Scott, I'm afraid. Always your responsibility not to hit the car in front, so without some serious evidence to suggest otherwise, you've got to think that that's on Scott. A massive bit of lag there. So battling going on here between Mark and David Haddo. What's going on here? David Haddo is getting absolutely swamped here. Doesn't appear to have any damage. Just seems to get absolutely swamped by everybody all at the same time. Perhaps he just decided, actually, I was just going to get out of the way of this. I don't like being in the middle of it. Big D is the man in the middle of this, though. And he won't intend on staying there too long. There's one thing we know about Big D. We know he's got the pace to be running and fighting for podiums at the top somewhere. So he doesn't seem to be, I may say, doesn't seem to be having the best of luck in races recently. I just realised, Shaz, I didn't get what the fastest lap was in the sprint for the wet. Got to check. Start mark is into the pits, so this is early. So presumably this is for damage. And it might not have been. He might have felt, because he was in the position he was in, that pitting out of it and getting into clean air might be better. Nope, it is damage then. Sometimes you could be in a battle of multiple cars, and sometimes it's better to take an early pit stop, get yourself out the situation, and running clean air where you're running faster than those guys you were battling with, because they're still battling each other. So the advantage comes back to you when they then have to pit later on. Okay, your tyres then on your second stint are a bit more worn than theirs, but a lot of the time when it's hard, you can handle that. So, well, Big D's ended up down in P16. Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, Shaz, you did not say that. You have not said that on the chat. Oh, you are in big, big trouble if something goes wrong. Leave the curses to the commentator. You know I'm going to dob you in as well, so if I end up speaking to him on the podium and he's in P2 because somebody's got him at the end or something, or because he's had a spin, I don't know, or something like that, then I'm totally dobbing you in. Big D right on the back of Robbo. Decided not to make the move into turn 3, but he wants to get this done. He's on the medium tyre. Not ideal for him to be running along in the dirty air of somebody on the hards, and apparently Robbo's close enough to have gotten DRS. He must have been through the activation, but not actually on the straight. He wasn't. So let's get back to the tyres so you can see they're on. It'd be great to get Shaz back on track when it does. Great driver. Oh, got move going on up further up. Atkins has gotten ahead of Dark Lord. Must have been into Stowe, and but Lord looks to come back as Blonde and Spreader on the pit straight. Unusual to see a move on a pit straight here, so perhaps Spreader got a bit of oversteer coming and opened up an opportunity for Blonde as Scott recovers from a spin. And he's in P12. Theo into the pits. He's completed 7 laps on those soft tyres, which is, in fact, it was 8 laps, so that's a lot of laps on soft tyres, to be fair. Let's go up then. Davis continues to try and hold off these guys. Obviously at this point the medium's definitely starting to go off a little bit now. So the guys on the hards will start getting the tyre advantage now. So I said lap 10 will probably be the first lap we see pit stop on. Obviously there was a safety car so right at the start, so potentially that might change things. This Blonde makes the move on Davis into Stowe up the inside and completes that very nicely, not allowing Davis any opportunity to come back at him. Amarov sets fastest lap of the race as he looks to get after Spriggs. So yeah, because of that safety car, you might just find that the first one start pitting on lap 11 or 12 instead. Oh, Blonde gets out of shape and Davis is back through and Spreader's having a look. I think that was under braking that Blonde got out of shape there, because not really any other way to get out of shape there. I can only assume he's locked up. There's Blonde again on Davis. Blonde must be so happy to get this move done. It's quite clear, I don't know, no offence to Davis, but it's quite clear that he is holding these guys up. He's doing a grand job of it, in fact. It's Blonde up the inside again on the way down to Stowe with DRS. And again, he gets the move done, just needs to make sure not to make a mistake this time as Kamarov is first into the pits. And it's looking like he's going to be the only one of the leaders to pit. And looking down, I think he's going to come out of a load of clean air. Still got to make the actual stop yet, so his teammate actually follows him in. Goomba is pitting the same lap, and I'm pretty sure these guys on the pit straight now are all going to go by. So don't think Camarov's going to have traffic issues. So, well, it could be better if I'm honest. It's showing 2.8 seconds to Fatal, and Fatal's probably got a good five or so laps to go until he pits yet. 4 or 5 laps, I'd imagine. So, sorry, let's get to a battle. So, well, Cammy does have some clean air to drive into, but he might well eat that gap to Fatal pretty quick. As there seems to be a battle going on between Big D and Robert Gillen. This is we're heading up to Cops. So I'm going to stay side by side. Robert Gillen overcuts it a bit into Cops. That allows a little switch back from Big D. And through he goes into P11 now for Big D. Recovering nicely. Now, as we go up to the pit stops, so Spriggs is in from the lead. Axel is in from P6. P5 actually, I think. Which means Blonde will go through and take the lead of the race. If I remember last week, he got clean air on the hard tyres. He was lapping insanely fast. on the worn hards at Portimao last week. So oh, we've lost. Robert Gillen is out. I think that's in the pits, actually. Yeah, well, that's a shame. Robert Gillen reserving tonight, but he's opted to retire in the pits. For whatever reason, never nice to see. Don't want to see anyone doing that, ideally. And Big D finds himself now right on the back of Spriggs, who is pitted. And the last thing Spriggs wants is a guy who's probably just about to pit in a way to get past it at this point. So, if Big D is intending on pitting this lap, I can't imagine he's going to try too hard to get past Spriggs, to be quite honest with you. Wouldn't really be much point. Spriggs out. P7 is some going at Silverstone. That shows just how quick he was running at the front to create that sort of gap. In now our master spread, Davis and Atkins. Is it Atkins? Yeah, it is Atkins. Dirt Lord stayed out. He's doing another lap on the mediums, and in comes Big D. I thought that might be coming. Where is Spriggs? He's already on the pitch straight. He's going to be way past them. He's going to be way past them. And Rob sets fastest lap of the race. And Rob there. It's a massive undercut on Spreader. Quite frankly, Spreader's 5 seconds behind now of Kamarov, let alone Spriggs. Kamarov wants to get past Fatal Defiance, and there's a little switch back, gets DRS of course, and up into P5 for Sergeant Kamarov. Nicely done. Now he's got a load of clean air and is 3.9 seconds behind Spriggs, so that's what he needs to make up. But, say, at Portimao last week, this is where Blonde showed some genius, to be quite frank. He just started putting in ridiculously fast laps on hard tyres, showing his real pace, and yeah, and then pitted. I think he ended up doing hardest to soft, didn't he? And then just well, yeah, he went out cancer really after that. Start Lord pits. There's a long stint on the mediums, to be honest. 14 laps completed on the medium tyres. It means he's done more laps on mediums than he will on the hards. And so just seeing him exit the pits. It's going to come out, I think, pretty much with Atkins. So there they are. That is Dark Lord has exited just ahead of Atkins. Obviously he's got to get his tyres up to temperature, so Atkins needs to be a bit careful there. He's got a guy on very cold hard tyres directly ahead of him. DRS open. So there you go. That's what the cold hards do to you. So Dark Lord runs way wide. And but that was a good stint from Dark Lord on the mediums, as Blonde is in to take his stop. So 22.7 seconds. I predict that Spriggs will be a good 6 seconds ahead of Blonde. I think Blonde's going to come out behind Kamarov, I think. Spin service, does he? Yeah. He's coming up to the exit. There's Spriggs. So he goes through. Robbo goes through. Of course, hasn't pitted yet. Kamarov goes through. And Blonde will come out just ahead of Fatal Defiance. So there you go. But He's now on the medium tyres, and he's going to be searching, hunting for back-to-back victories. And he's got 11 laps to get it. So, first lap, well, good first, medium tyres, first half to 2/3 of a lap is getting him up to a workable temperature. And then he will start to absolutely charge. So, Davis close with Axel, who's now up to P7. A good feature race. Things didn't go too well in the sprint for Axel, but he's having a good main race. As we've got yellow flags, I think that's Theo having a difficult time. And at the back, which is 17th. But everyone has said during the break, it appears he's having some sort of wheel issues. So, to be honest, fair play to him still being out there, I guess. Robbo is into the pits. So, we'll come out behind his teammate. I'm just looking just how far down. Probably between Dark Lord and Dystopian, I'd imagine. It's going to be quite close with Dystopian, I'd imagine. Looking at the final corner. He's got a little way now. He's going to lose out to Dystopian, isn't he? Fatal is in as well. So Dark Mark goes through. But Robbo's probably going to lose out to whoever that is. That was Scott. And Fatal exits P14 on the mediums, and he'll be looking to get after David Haddo now. It's in the points though. So it looks like Theo's had a oh, Robbo out on the fresh tyres. There's a little spin. Drops him down to P16. Oh, he's round again. What's going on? Deary, deary me. Oh, sorry, Robbo. I've got all of that. What a nightmare. Oh, he'd have been feeling pretty good coming out the pits on fresh tyres as well. So, sorry, let's go down to Big D. That battle going on here between Fatal, Big D, and Goomba. See, Fatal is on the mediums, but he's only just pitted to those. He's just getting them up to temperature. So this could be Big D's best opportunity. It looks like Scott's round ahead of us. He's recovering. And he's going to cover just ahead of Goomba. By the looks of it, it's going to split Big D and Goomba. For Theo, it looks like he's had another moment on the final corner. Big D. Keeping an eye through the field, guys, and there's not a lot going on at the front at the moment, so we'll keep an eye on it. Blonde is closing the gap to Kamarov, so that's going to be our main battle in a moment. And if we could get past Kamarov, he's got about another 2 seconds to catch up with Spriggs. So Big D still on the back of Fatal, but it is difficult now. So Fatal's on the mediums now. Obviously, it's not ideal for Fatal. Fatal would have wanted some clean air so we could concentrate on catching David Haddo in front rather than defending Big D. But position he finds himself in, for the moment at least. He'll now move up to Blonde as he does catch on to the back Yes, Cammy was closing. He seems to have lost half a second all of a sudden. I don't know where that's gone, but he was closing up. But he's definitely going to go into defensive mode now, as Blonde is on the back of him. May not be a huge amount that Cammy could do to stop Blonde, to be honest. But remember, in terms of championship, of course, Kamarov just wants to finish ahead of Spreader, quite frankly. If he finishes ahead of Spreader, then things have gone well for the championship. So but I think that Blonde will probably already be planning his move in his mind, and will be building up to it. Likely to be here. And I think up to Stowe is the more likely place, as Fatal is back into the pits. I'm not sure what happened to Fatal. So get a front wing change. Nope. Looks like he's just coming to go to softs. Served the penalty as well. We're going into the pits, but not sure what that's about. Here he goes then. So Blonde to the inside of Cammy for Stowe, and makes that stick. Doesn't look like Cammy's going to be able to come back at him. Spriggs will be saying, please come back at him, Cammy. Please come back at him. Spriggs just 2 seconds. Well, there he is, Spriggs. He's 2 seconds ahead. It's starting to look like 2 weeks in a row, starting on the hards for Blonde is turning out to be just a ticket to a victory. So 6 laps, including this one, 6 laps to catch and pass Spriggs, potentially denying Spriggs once again the chance for victory. It's not done it yet, and just bear in mind he's completed 5 laps on these mediums now, so we know his outright pace it does seem to be the fastest out there, doesn't it? So that's the thing for Spriggs. The natural wear at the moment, the mediums will still be faster than the hards at this point. Gradually be coming towards the hards, but not only that, you've got the fastest guy on track driving that car as well, so it's hard to imagine. I absolutely want Spriggs to hold on to this, but can appreciate the drive from Blonde. Absolutely brilliant, to be quite frank. Looks like, well, we're just coming up actually to Theo, who's had another spin. He's going to be just ahead of us on the straight here. He's a little bit out of the road actually, but you know, that's what Spriggs can see behind him at the moment. It's like that. It's not too bad, and then in the corner it suddenly gets bigger. It suddenly gets a bit smaller again, but not small enough, as you can see. That 8 attempts at the moment. Absolutely, like, well, that's a McLaren's orange. I guess I've got to say it's like a tiger hunting down its prey. DRS just aiding him even more. So far, not able to get close enough yet, but we're going on to lap 23, which means 4 laps remain, which is going to feel like an absolute eternity for Spriggs. Looking down the order, there's not much in the way of other battles going on, so we will stick with this. The only one really is Dark Mark is just gotten within the second of Dystopian for P9, so they're in a similar position to this right now. You have to give it to Spriggs though. Whatever happens here, he's driven an absolutely superb race today. Absolutely brilliant. I have to say that there's actually been some astonishing is this the moment, I think? Well, believe it or not, Spriggs actually had DRS himself there off of the back of the Williams of Theo, but it still wasn't enough as Blonde makes his way around the outside of Stowe and defends it into the stadium. And that'll be not a sinking feeling yet for Spriggs, because he'll still be hoping here that he can hold into the 1 second and maybe get one chance to have a run at Blonde before the end of this race. Got DRS here, following around in the slipstream. We're a few laps on now, and now the tyres are becoming relatively level. I still say the mediums have probably got a slight advantage. In terms of lap time and pace, they should be reasonably similar now. The way that Blonde got past though when Spriggs had DRS as well does suggest that Blonde is perhaps running a lower downforce setup, which could make it extremely difficult for Spriggs to be able to get back past. But to be fair to Spriggs, he's keeping him within range, just. A bit wide on the exit there, that's hurt it a little bit. Even in Greza, Spriggs has led this race from start to like a lap ago. 2 laps ago, Blonde got him down into Stowe. And he's managed to stay with him here, Spriggs. And as the laps tick on, those mediums gradually feel a bit worse. I said last lap, they're probably pretty similar in terms of pace to tyres now. And it just seems to me like Blonde has got a little bit more straight line speed. Spriggs got a really good exit out of the right-hander then. I might be the wrong way round, you know. It might be Spriggs has got a better straight line speed. Scott, I honestly, when that flashed up then and it started with an S, I honestly thought my heart sank for a moment for Spriggs then, but it was Scott, not Spriggs, thank goodness. Yeah, I'd agree, Greza, and he's trying his best to keep some, but going on to the final lap, he still did an amazing job just to keep Blonde within the 1 second, quite honestly. Blonde's pole position lap time was 27.1, and I have absolutely no doubt that he could have gone quicker if he something happened on the final lap. He messed up the final lap, so I don't know how much up he was, but I'm pretty sure he could have gone faster. Again, Spriggs has gotten pretty close here. He's using his... Yeah. Fortune was involved in an incident earlier on, but no, to be fair to him, he's having an absolute blinder Axel. Absolute blinder. And I think, to be honest, he was getting really close there for a moment, Spriggs, but through Maggots and Beckett's, it looks like Blonde just got away a bit too much. And, right, it's a hard-fought victory. Blonde. So, here he comes. Blonde crosses the line to win the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Spriggs P2, Kamarov P3. They will be our podium interview in just a minute. Spreader, a position behind Kamarov in the race, was a position ahead of him in the sprint. So, sprint, of course, was full wet. Axel crosses the line to take P5, I think in his best race in PRF1. On another day, he might have gotten my driver of the day, but my driver of the day today goes to Spriggs without any question at all. It goes to Spriggs. He's been absolutely superb. Davis P6 has had a great race as well. Launched off the start, got to P2, and then he's just gradually dropped down as the fast guys have sort of gotten to the back of him in that. But a great race nonetheless from Davis. Dart Lord as well, P7, superb result for Dart Lord. Another one who'd absolutely be on my driver of the day list normally. Atkins P8, Dystopian P9, great jobs from those two. David Haddo finishes P10. Big D P11, Gumba P12, Robbo P13. Scott was promising at one moment for him. He was the biggest gainer at one point, up 9 places, but had a spin. P14. Dartmark P15, Fatal. Whatever unknown reason, pitted to these softs when he was running in the points. Didn't appear to have any damage. He served a penalty, but he pitted out of the points to go to the softs. I don't know why. But P16 regardless for Fatal, and Theo at the back P17. Unfortunately, to say, we know he was having some sort of wheel issues, was Theo, so to be fair to the lad, he's done well just to finish the race. Game gives driver the day to Big D, but no, without an absolute question of a doubt, the driver of the day today is Spriggs. For the second week in a row, Blonde makes the starting on hards and going to the mediums. Well, last week it was going to softs, but the starting on the hards strategy work. And takes victory in Silverstone. And there we have it. I don't understand what you do. Why did you pick the softs, Fatal? Saying that, why did you pick the softs? You were in the points. Anyway, let's move on. I've got to get on with the interview, so let's get the boys in. So let's just go to the results, the race results. Blonde took fastest lap with 29.8 as well. Just quickly scroll through these and scroll through the sprint as well, so that Grez has got those if he needs them. And then hopefully, actually, I'm going to invite these guys in first before I press the button, because sometimes it just skips you past the race director. Let me, yeah, it's going to let me look at them. There you go. Well, we should scroll through just in case the stewards need to refer to it for any reason, or any of the drivers. Sometimes they ask for penalty removal and need it, so just go down once and up once. Oh, Shaz, you are in so much trouble. I can't begin to tell you. You are in so much trouble. Well, you'll find out in a minute. Yeah. Um, oh, everybody's. I didn't see you all join. I only saw Cameron's name come up. I didn't realise you'd all joined. I do apologise. Right. I don't think I've pressed the button yet to allow you to include your audio. Right. There you go.
Lovely.
Excellent. Right then, Cammy, gonna come to you first as P3 this week. Well, difficult out there. I feel. Well, it's difficult sprint. Let's put it that way. And
Oh,
yeah,
Oh dear.
cut
you've
off.
done a good job. You
You cut
finished
off
P3.
here.
You've got a good night. So talk us through it in a way, mate.
Yeah, I was really happy with the quality lap. It was about 3 tenths quicker than I did on Tuesday. Um, so that was pretty good. But just couldn't really get to grips where the rears were. I couldn't get them up to temperature after all of the fucking safety car restarts, so lost out to spread unfortunately on that. But had a good start, got past Blonde on the hards, and then me and Spread had a really good fight in the first couple of laps.
I
I
got all
just
that on
only got
stream.
past Davis, and that's good. Got past Davis, and then just tried to catch up to Spriggs, but I got stuck around the 2.4 second mark, and then pitted a lap early. Lost I think it was about 2 seconds from the overcut, and just couldn't really catch it back up again. I was catching every now and again, and then I make a few mistakes and lose it all again. But I was hoping to stay in Blonde's Zeros a little bit longer and see if I could catch up from that, but didn't quite work out. But oh well.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that sort of sums it up quite well. What was the sprint like? Because obviously, with it being a dry main race, I'm guessing everybody was set up for a dry race, and it must have been a bit difficult.
Well, me and my adaptability is always shit anyway, so I struggled a bit, but yeah, it wasn't too bad. I didn't die, so and I beat Spread in the main race, so hey.
Yeah, it's always an upside, isn't there? I didn't die, you know.
Exactly. Well, I
Excellent.
thought I was going to a few times. I got wheel spin on the exit of fucking cops. I was scared shitless.
Right. Well done, mate. Anyway, P3, as you said, you finished ahead of Spreader. I guess ultimately, at the moment, in terms of championship, that is the goal each week because he's your main
Exactly.
rival. So, in terms of championship, well done, buddy. You extend your lead.
Well, I'm
Um,
missing at least one more race as well, so he's got that to catch up
ah,
with, so it's going to be close.
yeah, so definitely important to get these little results just to buffer that gap a little bit. So, yeah,
Yeah.
well done, mate.
Thank
Spriggs,
you.
Spriggs, always the bridesmaids. Um, I just unlucky, man. You drove and you actually drove a really great race, and you're my driver today without a shadow of a
I
doubt.
finally got
So
it.
yeah,
Yes.
just there were so many other drivers that on another day could have got it,
Yeah.
but today it's yours. So
Oh, awesome.
you didn't get the win, but you got the more important thing. Okay. Um,
Yeah, that means
so,
more.
in a way, talk us through your race, mate. It was, I mean, most of it's looked pretty
Yeah.
lonely actually, but just talk us through it.
Yeah, quali was interesting because I did an okay first run. I invalidated the second one, and then the third one, it looked all good because I think the game's a bit broken where it will tell you you've got like a purple sector on the map, but when you go on actual timing thing, it's green. So I got way too over like sort of thinking, oh yeah, maybe it's gonna be all right, and then I finished and it was third.
Yeah,
So yeah, race was where it's at.
it
Oh
was
yeah,
twenty seven
sorry.
point four though. You did do a really
Yeah,
good lap.
yeah.
So
Yeah, it was. I think it might be one of my best laps in terms of not in time trial. So that was, yeah,
yeah,
that was good. I think I probably didn't notice it just because of who was ahead. I think
yeah,
it's one of them. But yeah, we got to the race. It was a good start. And I just thought, oh, it has to be at the start, otherwise it's never because it's so hard to overtake in the wet like that. And yeah, being behind. Oh shit, I forgot your names. Sorry, yeah, being behind Blonde, it was going to be really tough. And he was driving really, really well in the wet as well, like great exits and stuff like that. So he was just trying to stay ahead of the guys behind,
yeah.
and then just finish. Don't spin, just finish, and that's it. Um, there was one moment I thought about it. I think at the safety car restart, but I think he covered it well, so I wasn't going to pass him. And then is again this the full race was just like Portugal, I suppose. I think he was going to be on the slower tire to begin with, but then as soon as he gets on the softer tire, oh my days! I saw it was a good race. It was good, very sort of lonely as you said. But then when he was on the mediums, I could see how much he was gaining in the corners, and I thought, yeah, it won't be long. And then yeah, I did everything I could, I suppose. Kept it as clean as I could throughout the race, but yeah, not meant to be today.
Well, you did, but in all
Um,
fairness, once he got past you, you managed to keep with him. You kept within the 1 second to give yourself a chance.
yeah,
But
true.
and it was
Yeah,
just on the final lap. On the approach up the cops, you used your energy. Then it got you really close to the
yeah,
back of him, but it meant you had nothing going on to hang him straight. So, um, yeah, it's yeah, fair play to you, man. I thought you drove an absolutely great race.
yeah.
You really did.
Cheers.
You know, before Blonde joined the
Yeah.
league, that would have been a victory. So, you know, you'd have beat Cameron and spread her up there.
Thanks.
So,
The moment as soon as my form gets a bit better, someone really, really good joins the league, but credit to him, to be honest.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
fair play.
Well, congratulations, mate. P2 and driver of the day, and Blondes, congratulations on the victory.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very much a strategy that you used last week at Portimao. Um, yeah, always a risk at Silverstone because if a safety car comes at sort of lap 4, 5, 6, you're kind of screwed then because all the medium tires split to hards. But yeah, talk us through it anyway, mate.
Yeah, thank you. I thought qualifying was all right. My lap was okay. I've On the last lap, I messed up sector one, so I tried to really push it and I spun
Right.
sector three. So that was annoying, but it got pole anyway. I thought my pace was really good in the wet. A bit scary at the restarts, especially the first restart. I double locked it as I was restarting.
Oh,
Got a bit scared about my temperatures and what they were. But yeah, so I managed that well.
yeah,
And I think even with the dry setup, it was good. So I also think starting hard, so you always know you're gonna lose positions. So I kind of just try to stay out of danger.
yeah,
I knew people were gonna overtake me. That was gonna be their goal. So I was just trying to cling on to the RS for as long as I could before I made my moves when I wanted.
yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. And then I think towards the end of the race, it was just about putting those laps in. I started to go medium instead of softs because I just felt I just felt I couldn't keep my hards pace as much as I could the laps before, like I could at Portimao, because the hards were felt really good, but
Yeah,
I don't really felt like how the tires felt for most of the laps. I don't know whether it was my setup or it was the tires, but I didn't like how they felt. I just picked my moments with the overtakes as well, and it wasn't too bad in the end. It was a nice overtake at the end, and then I knew I couldn't get out of DRS Spriggs, so I just kind of saved my overtake for the last lap when I knew he was probably going to go for the. I just burned it all down the straight, and
yeah.
yeah, that got me to the flag.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. So you had some great battles in there as well. You did some very nice overtaking. All
Yep.
clean. No little contacts. And I have to say, as a whole for the league, I think the vast majority of it tonight was clean, which was really good to see. Plenty of moves going through cops as well, side by side, and no contacts. So that was great. But yeah, ultimately, Blanche, you come in, you've raced two, you've won two. There's no doubt you're paid, but I think quite simply, you do seem to be the fastest driver in the league. Um, sorry, Cammy, but you do.
Yeah,
Um,
I've been used
Thank you, yeah.
Oh God.
but yeah, so hopefully, I mean, obviously, winning a championship this season is probably going to be almost impossible because of the head start the others have got. But
I'll
um,
keep trying.
yeah, keep going,
It's
take it
never
to
a
the end.
question.
You
Yeah,
never,
yeah,
yeah, you might take it to the final race, and if not, there's always next season, and there's no doubt you'll be, if you stay with us, there's no doubt you'll be in a fight for it. So,
yeah.
yeah, okay, excellent guys. Well, congratulations to all three of you, and as I say, Spriggs, great drive today, great and driver of the day today.
Cheers.
So,
Thank you.
also want to give a shout out to Axel, who's driven absolutely brilliant. I think again another day. I think he could have been driver of the day, finishing P5 from I can't remember exactly where he started, but he was well down the order at the start. Um, Davis as well drove absolutely brilliantly. there's loads of them. Honestly, there's so many. So, yeah, really great race for the league tonight. So, yeah, all in all, there, guys. Congratulations to all three of you. We will be back as a league on Tuesday for the Lauda division, and that will be on, I believe, Master Spreads. Well, it's either Master Spread or Big D, isn't it? So it'll be on one of their Twitches. Other than that, guys, I'll be back on Sunday at 6 o'clock for Wheelspin Racing and 8 o'clock for HRF1. So come and join me for that. Other than that, enjoy your weekends, have fun, stay safe, and good night. God bless.